June 18, 2018. 3:56 p.m. Riva Motorsports, Deerfield Beach, Florida. Yase Dwayne Ricardo Onfroy, known to 20 million fans as XXXTentacion, walks out of a motorcycle dealership carrying a small black bag. He's wearing a red tank top, black shorts, and a gold chain. His black BMW i8 is parked 30 feet away. Security cameras capture him moving toward the driver's side door. 4 minutes later, he would be shot multiple times at point-blank range. But here's what the headlines never focused on. The killers were already there. They'd been waiting. Not for minutes, for nearly an hour. The question isn't just who killed XXXTentacion. It's how they knew exactly where he'd be, exactly when, and why he walked out alone carrying $50,000 in cash. The surveillance footage shows the shooting, but it doesn't show the setup. Yase Onfroy was born January 23, 1998, in Plantation, Florida, and raised primarily by his grandmother in Lauderhill. His childhood was fractured. His mother, Cleopatra Bernard, struggled financially. His father was absent, imprisoned for much of Yase's early life. By age 6, Yase had stabbed a man he claims was trying to hurt his mother. By middle school, he was fighting constantly, expelled, arrested, in and out of juvenile detention. Music became his only outlet. He taught himself piano and guitar while locked up. He studied artists obsessively: Nirvana, The Fray, Papa Roach, Tupac. He didn't want to fit into one genre. He wanted to break them all. In 2013, he started recording under the name XXXTentacion, a title he claimed meant temptation, in a style he invented. He uploaded tracks to SoundCloud. His early music was raw, aggressive, unfiltered, screaming over distorted beats, rapping about violence, depression, and rage. But it was real. And in 2015, when he released Look at Me from juvenile detention, it went viral. By 2017, the song had exploded globally. He signed with Empire Distribution, then Capitol Music Group. His debut album, 17, released in August 2017, was entirely different: vulnerable, acoustic, confessional. Songs like Jocelyn Flores and Revenge dealt with suicide, loss, and mental illness. It debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200. His follow-up, released in March 2018, hit number 1. He was 20 years old. But Yase's rise was inseparable from controversy. In 2016, he was arrested and charged with aggravated battery of a pregnant victim, domestic battery by strangulation, false imprisonment, and witness tampering. The victim was his former girlfriend, Geneva Ayala. The allegations were brutal: beatings, isolation, psychological torture. He denied some claims, admitted others, and pleaded not guilty. The case haunted him. Fans were divided. Some believed he was a monster. Others believed he was misunderstood, changing, evolving. He spoke about it vaguely in interviews: regretful, defensive, never fully accountable. The trial was set for later in 2018. He would never make it. What's undeniable is that Yase was trying to change, or at least claimed to be. In early 2018, he launched the Helping Hand Challenge, encouraging fans to donate to charity. He visited schools. He talked about meditation, energy, positivity. He posted long, philosophical rants on Instagram. He was erratic, contradictory, deeply damaged, but also searching. His music reflected that chaos. Sad became a global anthem. Moonlight showed his pop instincts. But beneath it all was a young man who'd seen too much violence, caused too much pain, and was desperately trying to outrun his past. On June 18, 2018, his past caught up. The days before his death, XXXTentacion was active. He posted frequently on Instagram. He was working on new music. On June 15th, he announced a charity event scheduled for the following weekend. On June 17th, he hinted at retiring from music soon, saying he wanted to focus on helping people. That same day, he filmed himself freestyling in the studio. He seemed energized, focused. On the morning of June 18th, he posted a photo on Instagram with the caption, "Planning a charity event for this weekend, Florida." He had meetings scheduled. He wanted to buy a motorcycle. He was 20 years old, wealthy, famous, and according to those close to him, cautiously optimistic about the future. But there were signs. In the weeks prior, he'd mentioned feeling watched. He'd upgraded his security after receiving threats. He'd been involved in multiple public altercations, beefs with other artists, former associates. Some were resolved. Others weren't. On June 18th, he made a decision that, in hindsight, seemed fatal. He went out without security. He drove his BMW i8 to Riva Motorsports in Deerfield Beach, a dealership he'd visited before. He browsed motorcycles. He withdrew $50,000 in cash from a Bank of America nearby, planning to make a purchase. He placed the money in a small Louis Vuitton bag. He walked into the dealership alone. And outside, 3 men sat in a dark SUV, waiting. At approximately 3:30 p.m., a dark Dodge Journey SUV pulled into the parking lot of Riva Motorsports. Inside were 4 men: Michael Boatwright, Dedrick Williams, Trayvon Newsom, and Robert Allen. They had been tracking XXXTentacion's movements. It's unclear how they knew he'd be there, whether they'd followed him from his home in Parkland, intercepted his plans through social media, or received inside information. What's confirmed through surveillance footage and later testimony, they arrived before he did. They parked. They waited. When XXXTentacion's BMW pulled into the lot at 3:34 p.m., they didn't move immediately. They watched him enter the dealership. They waited for him to come back out. At 3:56 p.m., XXXTentacion exited Riva Motorsports. He was holding the black Louis Vuitton bag. He walked toward his car, alone, unhurried. He opened the driver's side door. As he climbed into the BMW, the Dodge Journey suddenly accelerated. It blocked his path, trapping the BMW against the curb. 2 masked men jumped out. One ran to the driver's side window. The other moved to the passenger side. Surveillance footage shows the confrontation lasted seconds. XXXTentacion appeared to struggle. A witness later testified that one of the men demanded the bag. He resisted. Then gunfire. Multiple shots, close range. The bag was ripped from the car. The 2 men sprinted back to the SUV. The vehicle sped away, heading south on North Dixie Highway. The entire attack took less than 4 minutes. Witnesses immediately called 911. Bystanders rushed to the BMW. XXXTentacion was slumped in the driver's seat, unresponsive, bleeding heavily from the neck and torso. Paramedics arrived within minutes. He was transported to Broward Health North Hospital in Deerfield Beach. At 5:30 p.m., doctors pronounced him dead. He had been shot multiple times. The bag containing $50,000 was gone. His BMW sat in the parking lot, driver's door open, blood pooled on the seat. The killers had vanished. But they hadn't planned well. Surveillance cameras captured the Dodge Journey's license plate. Within hours, police issued a BOLO, "Be on the lookout." Within days, Dedrick Williams was arrested. Within weeks, the others followed. Michael Boatwright, identified as the shooter. Trayvon Newsom, the second gunman. Robert Allen, who accepted a plea deal and testified against the others. The trial wouldn't begin until 2023, 5 years later, but the facts were clear. This wasn't random. It was premeditated. They had tracked him. They knew he had cash. They ambushed him in broad daylight. And they killed him for a bag of money. The news spread instantly. Within an hour, social media exploded. Kanye West tweeted, "Rest in peace." Kendrick Lamar posted a photo. Joey Badass, Trippie Redd, Lil Uzi Vert, tributes poured in from across the industry. But so did the debates. Should we mourn him? Can we separate the art from the artist? Is he a victim or a villain? The conversation was raw, angry, divisive. His ex-girlfriend, Geneva Ayala, posted a statement expressing complicated grief. His mother, Cleo, was shattered. Fans held vigils in Florida, Los Angeles, New York. Murals appeared overnight. His music streamed at record levels. In the months after his death, XXXTentacion's legacy grew more complicated. His album, Skins, released posthumously in December 2018, debuted at #1. Bad Vibes Forever Released in 2019, featured collaborations recorded before his death. His estate released documentaries, merchandise, tribute projects. His mother became the guardian of his son, Gekyum, born 7 months after his death. The charity work he'd started was continued through the XXXTentacion Foundation. But the questions remained. How much of his redemption arc was real? Would he have truly changed? And why, after everything, did he walk out of that dealership alone? In March 2023, Michael Boatwright, Dedrick Williams, and Trayvon Newsome were convicted of first-degree murder and armed robbery. They were sentenced to life in prison without parole. Robert Allen, who cooperated, received a lesser sentence. The trial revealed chilling details. They had stalked him, planned the robbery, and executed it with precision. But it also revealed something else. XXXTentacion had posted about his plans on Instagram that morning. He'd shared his location habits. He'd been predictable. And in that predictability, he became a target. XXXTentacion's story isn't just about talent destroyed too soon. It's about a generation grappling with trauma, violence, and accountability in real time. He was brilliant and broken. He hurt people and tried to heal. He made music that saved lives and lived a life that ended in a parking lot ambush at 20 years old. His voice still echoes, raw, unfiltered, unfinished. The conversation around him will never be simple. But his death was. For minutes. For men. $50,000. And a question that still lingers. If he just waited for security, would he still be here? Some stories end. Legends don't. This is CLS.